Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Go Vols Extra Double Coverage. I'm Ben Frederickson. This is Tennessee football beat reporter Dustin Dopirak, and we are going to look at the Vols season right as it stands right now, headed into this weekend's game against South Carolina. Tennessee's 3-5, still winless in the SEC, headed into a night game at South Carolina. The Gamecocks are 4-4, 2-4. Could be a pivotal point in Tennessee's season. We'll get to that in a second, but starting out, let's just talk about the quarterbacks. It's the biggest question on the field right now, Dustin. Where do things stand with Justin Worley's health and Josh Dobbs moving forward?
Well, as of Wednesday night, the last time Butch Jones was asked about it, he said that Justin Worley still wasn't ready. They've been kind of waiting for him to just show the same kind of velocity zip, I guess, on his throws because he's got that shoulder injury. They want to see that he can still, make all the throws that he usually can and he needs to, and he hasn't shown that yet. So that obviously would mean that you'll likely see a lot of Josh Dobbs on Saturday. Certainly, they haven't ruled Nathan Peterman out of the discussion yet. Even though he hasn't necessarily been effective. But there's a good chance you'll see Dobbs on Saturday again. Worley hasn't been ruled out, but certainly that changes the game a little bit. Dobbs gives you the much more mobile option, brings some quarterback run game into it that you certainly don't see with Worley.
Right, shouldn't count Nathan Peterman out. I think Steve Spurrier has, but Butch Jones is still sticking on the fact that he still could be in there. So we'll see how that goes. I do think it'll probably be Dobbs moving forward. I guess in your opinion, what should Tennessee do if Justin Worley can go? I mean, do you put him right back in where he goes, or do you try to get some reps for Dobbs now that this red shirt is gone?
Yeah, no, I think the likely scenario is they'll probably go to a two-quarterback system. I'd be really surprised if once you burn Dobbs' red shirt, you certainly see he can be effective, see he can matter, and bring a lot of mobility and get a lot of yards in the quarterback run game. But I don't think they want to throw Worley out at this point. So basically, I think I would not be surprised at all if you've seen to see multiple quarterbacks, whether it's this week or a couple weeks from now.
I think the offensive line, you mentioned it as well. It seems like we've been talking so much about how the offensive line couldn't protect Worley, but now Dobbs steps in and maybe that mobility helps some. But also seeing some new faces on that line. They seem to be kind of putting things together a little bit. Where do things stand with regard to the health of the two former starters, and who could we see out there come Saturday?
Well, Marcus Jackson appears to be good to go. Basically, he had the injury and missed that game, but I think he was probably close to playing. Well, Coleman Thomas still sounds a little bit iffy, but he's made a lot of progress. He also was dealing with the flu on top of a high ankle sprain, so I'm not sure if you'll see him. But whether they if just bringing Jackson back forces them to kind of reshuffle some things. Not sure what they're going to do exactly. But Brett Kendrick, I think, has played really well in the Alabama game, a lot better than he did against Arkansas State. Apparently, according to Don Mahoney, he's been really practicing well. Kyler Kerbyson looked a lot stronger at left guard than he has all year at right tackle. And Jacob Gilliam, who is again playing on no ACL, remarkably looked solid. I think Don Mahoney said he had 83 snaps, so he was playing pretty well as well. There's a tough question: do you put Jackson back at left guard? Do you move Kerbyson back to right tackle? Maybe do you consider moving Kerbyson in there at right guard? Maybe move out Robertson, Ja'Shawn Robertson, who'd been starting all year. A lot of tough questions there. Don Mahoney said he's not opposed to the idea of shuffling guys in and out, of not just having one group of five for the entire game, giving some guys a rest, shuffling guys in for different series. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see that. You see maybe 6, maybe 7 offensive linemen play on Saturday.
Going into South Carolina, Gamecocks not necessarily the South Carolina team that people have grown to expect of late, but still obviously a threat in this conference. How do they compare with Tennessee? How do they match up? Strengths and weaknesses, and what are you expecting going into this one?
It's basically strength on strength and weakness on weakness. I think South Carolina, it's a Steve Spurrier team, so they can score, they can throw the ball, and they're running it pretty well. Mike Davis has rushed for 750 yards. He's 6th in the league. They've got a really big offensive line. They've got a lot of ways that they can score points, and they've got a lot of ways that they can give up points as well. So basically, Tennessee's strength has been the defense, second in the league in pass defense. Still I think in the top 5 in total defense, have been really solid on that end, been good at defending the pass, with the exception of when they had to deal with Amari Cooper. So that's sort of a strength on strength battle. South Carolina on the opposite end has been really bad defending the run. Tennessee's been really bad at running the ball, and Tennessee's or South Carolina's defensive line hasn't been very good. They've only got 8 sacks. Tennessee has given up more sacks than anybody else in the league. So it's interesting to see. It might be who can take advantage of the other's weakness, because it's sort of a kind of even battle in that case. Tough thing, Tennessee's only won once in their last 16 road games, so that's obviously kind of a factor. But again, it's got a chance to be a pretty even matchup just because it's they're kind of teams that are sort of opposite right now.
Yeah, and another startling number for Tennessee fans. They need to win 3 of their last 4 to be eligible for a bowl, and they got games against South Carolina, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, and Missouri. So if you drop this one on Saturday, then you're really up against it in the hunt for the bowl, which I think is the ultimate goal for this team at the end of the season. We'll have all that coverage from the game on Saturday at GoVolsExtra.com. If you have questions or comments, you can get a hold of us on Twitter. I'm at Ben_Fred. Dustin is at Tennessee Beat.